What up, everyone? This is Vibrating Sheep of Granblue_EN. Um, we got a lot to talk about, so hey, DJ.
Hey, how's that Death Nut?
It's almost dead.
Oh,
We're
15,
brave.
15 million CA, huh? Yeah.
I've only broken one Omen on this team. It's just that she does so little damage, it doesn't matter. All right. So, what's up, Nalu ZK? Uh, so this is episode number 288. For four reasons, this episode is titled "Hot Girl Summer 2022." Um, so DJ, you're in charge. Where do we start out of the four hot girls in summer 2022?
I mean, you
I'm just trying
choose.
to get you to say it.
You really want me to say it?
Yeah.
Hmm. Gawain.
Okay. Gawain is also a quick thing. So hot guy summer, light guy summer.
There's a lot of light 5 stars recently.
Yeah, and so this is the thing is that we have in the course of this 7 month period three light um axe 5 stars.
One that we knew about,
Yeah, one we knew
like
about
because
years
of
in advance.
because it's yearly rotation. Vera felt needed because that character was not that great beforehand.
hmm
Why Gawain?
And this does well. I haven't done the level 100 Fate episode yet, so this doesn't quite feel like a Lamorak setup yet. But who knows? Maybe it is once I hit 100. I'm almost halfway there. I could always just throw books at it, but um, yeah, like it's not. People were theorizing that maybe this would be a sign that the end of month event story event is going to be um,
I kept
Dragon
uncap.
Knights. Yeah, and Lamorak and Gawain and stuff like that. But
Nope, here he is.
here he is.
He's right here.
Yeah. So and the thing is that we were like, this character is already good. Like Kumvira and Vera were pretty on the pretty low end of like playability. This guy was an all-star against the dinosaur.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was already a good character here. It was really hard to kill him, especially with Light's HP pull.
hmm And so let's go through what he gets. Um, so his new CA, it still activates puncture. Um, and it now gives a 20% dark cut to all allies.
That's just kind of like with what's his face?
Wind
Octo
Gawain?
does that.
No. Well, so Aada does it. For the 20% damage cut. I think Siegfried has it on some of his versions.
I mean, it's not bad. You didn't have to change anything about this thing. This thing already auto activated his skill.
Yeah, and it's a very good skill, and it gets better when he's level 90.
Oh yeah, it does.
So when you go to perforate, then there's extra effects now. So before, it's hit to light defense, healed Gawain, and it activates twice when he's at low health. This changes now at level 90. So instead of activating twice,
Well, while he's at low health.
mhm, while he's at low health, then it changes while he's at low health. So you now get defense down and attack down and light defense down, all
All
stackable.
these all these go to 30%. He covers all the defense down you need for Light in that
hmm
just one instance.
If he's low health, he gets boosted meter every turn, which he gets uplift.
Uplift for 3 turns.
hmm Um, and given that he does have low charge bar gain, this is actually less effective than other uplifts, even though the numbers are the same.
But it's still nice to have.
It's still there, and given that it's there because he always multi attacks, then it is actually pretty significant. And he gets dispel cancel.
Does he always multi attack? I don't think that's actually in his clause.
He doesn't always multi attack. He multi attacks when he presses overcome.
Yeah, there you
Um, so yeah, like
go.
he takes
Okay, and
care,
also this thing's on a 5 turn cooldown normally, anyways.
and it
So
casts when he CAs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And also, you tested it that even though it says activate puncture, it will still activate perforates.
when he's at low health. Yeah. So you can get you can land a lot of debuffs. I mean, it's no Aglavale because nothing is the Aglavale button or the who else has that button again? There's two other characters, but I forget who.
Let's be honest, the only one that matters in Light is Aglavale.
Yeah. But anyway, but it's useful. Like so he has debuff utility there. It gives him a lot of resilience because of the dispel cancel. At level 95, he gets an update to Freed from Restraint, which says the following things. So, Freed from Restraint changes to give him the bonus light damage effect always. So, it gives him passive 20% Chaser. When he's at low health, that becomes 40% Chaser. His damage amp goes from 10% to 20% at low health.
Mm-hmm.
There's a third thing. What was the third thing from Free? Oh yeah, he gets the Berserker clause, where when he's at low health, his buffs cannot be removed.
Which, well, the spell cancels there for when he's not,
Hmm.
which is weird because
Well, the thing is that one of the flaws of this character is that he heals himself so often that he actually brings himself out of range a lot. Like, if you've been playing Transcended Threo a decent amount with like Satyr or something like that, there is a frequent case where she gets healed out of her sweet spot, and Gawain does this also. He heals himself out of his sweet spot a lot. So the dispel cancel and the no buff removal. Actually, no, it's not no buff removal. It's immune to debuffs.
there you go. That's a
It's
difference.
immune to
That's a big
debuffs.
difference.
There we go.
That's way better.
Yeah, yeah.
Now he literally cannot be messed with
Sorry, it
unless
was
the
it
boss
was the
literally
wrong.
says.
Yeah, it was the wrong Berserker clause I was remembering.
But yeah, unless the boss says I ignore everything you do,
Which
aka Diaspora.
and Godsight, anything Godsight involved in Super Baja,
He's really good.
debuff immunity.
And you
Sorry.
know what?
Yeah.
In most cases, this like United Fight, this
Mhm.
is a really good kit. It was already a good kit. Now he
Mhm.
just won't die.
Well, so then there's level 100. So they didn't actually touch overcome.
I mean,
Um,
there's no point touching that move.
it's actually a pretty common case where they just don't touch this. It's a pretty decent skill. It becomes amazing when he's at low health. But the new one is they give him literally sacred protection from
On its ever turn
Paladin.
cooldown.
It's on a 7-turn cooldown, and the thing is that it's taken out of the context of um, Paladin. So there's no all sub. There's no defense up on him anywhere. Um, and so it is essentially like it's kind of like a one-turn shield at that point.
It's definitely better than most shields. Like if you know, like a boss is gonna do a multi-hitting small attack,
Hmm.
it pretty much negates the entire damage.
Right. But that's if you want to do it to something that is stronger than that, then you'll combo him with someone like a Vera, a Kumbira, someone who all subs with defense or something like that. Or heck, you can use it when you're playing Paladin yourself, and you just get a second Sacred Protection button.
You know, it's a really good one. Usually most of my sacred protections is for me to guarantee that I take no damage on a CA turn.
Hmm.
This one allows me to just mitigate damage, period,
Yeah.
whenever I feel like it. Sometimes, my rotations are off, so
Hmm.
this
And so
helps sign me that.
here's the thing: is that like, um, he's a very strong offensive, um, like self-sufficient offensive character, and he brings now two new pieces of defensive utility. Compare him to the two limited characters who are also offensive monsters with really strong defensive utility, and he comes up a bit short. He does have this one unique effect that combos with each of them. And so, like, I was asking you this the other day when we were looking at this, where it's like, if you all sub on Vera on her own with Skyfall, it used to be that there were still times she would die.
Now she doesn't because she takes 1500 less for each hit.
Right. And then with this, I didn't test it, but I believe it just overwrites the 1500 reduction. Might add on, I'm not sure. But subtracting 10k from each hit means that she's even less likely to die on her all sub turn. Same with Kumbira. Although Kumbira
I mean, Kumir
gets
can't die on her
undying.
also turn.
Yeah. But I mean,
She has undying.
it is a something that people have to work around for Kumbira, where she all subs and she doesn't die, but she stays at 1 because of a strong armed effect. The standard way to get around that is Justice, but what if you didn't need to cast Justice? And so,
Uh, so other nice things to
mhm,
note is that it's 10k. You know also what mitigates everything to 10k? Backline evoker.
backline Geisenberger, yeah.
Yeah, so you take 0 on dark damage.
Yeah. I mean, so essentially he becomes a very strong third or second to those characters we just mentioned, the other ones who came out this year for their 5 stars.
Yeah, and because of the fact that he actually has stacking attack defense down along with it,
Hmm.
he works really well with like Kumbir, who only does light defense down, for example,
Right. Does Vera have a debuff at all, or is she just a spell?
the spell.
Yeah, okay. I remembered that one right at least. I got a couple of them wrong this time around, but anyway, so um when was Zoe's 5-star uncap? Was that also this year? It was. We have 4 out of 7 months we've had a light uncap. Huh.
Oh yeah, that was March.
Jeez. I mean, these things come and go in bunches. It happens. There was a
You know
time
what?
when
At least
Water
it's
had these in a row too.
yeah, that's true. At least this one does. He doesn't randomly cast attack defense down.
Mhm. All right. So
No, I
that's
like
good.
this character.
Yeah,
He's good.
I enjoy playing with this character. He's pretty cool. Um, I'm still not gonna use him with um with a healing Ultima, but he's got things to do. All right. Next up, we do have two
Wait, no,
flash.
Dom.
What up?
You want to use him. That way he can actually consume his health and actually have a double strike turn again with with even bigger chaser.
But then he spends a lot of time outside of his sweet spot. It's really weird. Like he juggles in and out of his sweet spot a lot. But also the thing is, it's very different for me compared to you, because since I play light Magna,
And I play Primal, who has Garrison.
yeah, I don't have the garrison to lean on. All of my defense for him has to come from something outside of the grid. And so there's no like getting low on health and staying there. There is essentially getting low on health and then going, "Oh god, he has no defenses. I just need him to keep um like pressing the buttons that keep him alive," which is basically just skill 3. Like against the Dread Barrage Lich boss, he has died multiple times for me, which is something that tended not to happen against the Tyrannosaurus. But anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Summer Mirren's here. Hot Girl Summer number 1.
Yay!
Um, where
She's
do we
way better
start,
than
DJ?
her Christmas version.
Yeah, it's very easy to be better than her Christmas version. Where do we want to start, DJ? Lead us.
Start with skill one first off.
All right, skill 1, Resplendent Slice. Why are we starting with this? Is it because there's end of when a foe uses a special attack, end cooldown for Resplendent Slice, so it gets
Yep, she
cast
gets
all
to
the
cheat
time.
that cooldown very often, very
Okay,
easily.
so Fire Nuke, how big is it?
It's 4 or 5k, but the thing is that the more times it is casted, it gains more hits, up to 5 hits.
Okay, so 5 hits of 400k. That's pretty easily in like the 6 million range once you get skill cap up and
And
supplemental.
supplemental, yeah,
Actually, 5 million range, I think. But anyway, the point is,
it's good.
it's good. Um, it also
Eh,
blinds.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also has a permanent debuff on it.
Is it 10 and 10? Like the
10
other
10.
permanents? Okay.
I don't know how many fire permanent debuffs do we have.
Do you count TN at level 130?
Kind of. Only kind of though, because
Because
there's
it's
a weapon
random.
we're gonna talk about later.
Yeah, because it's random. Um, fire permanent debuffs. Shiva. Um, Shiva.
All
You.
right, the limiteds and an eternal at the 130.
Mhm. Okay. So this is the one that's gonna get spammed, and it gets spammed like a lot.
And you're gonna just keep shooting this button now. So
Mhm. Okay. Where do we go next? What's
next up, let's actually look at her CA because that goes into her skill too.
okay? So watermelon slash. It gives her a watermelon, and it gives buffs to allies based on how many chain bursts, how many CAs there were in the chain burst, which
She
is the
also does
Kengo
not
passive.
and she does not have to be part of the chambers in order to do that part. Apparently,
Hmm. Yeah, the same thing happens with Kengo. This used to be part of Vajra's kit, but they took it away.
I mean, Vadra's one was not that great before.
Yeah. All right. So.
But so that's better. That's actually better than getting stupid orange Mandarin thing
Hmm.
because of how you spend the watermelons.
Okay.
So the thing is that her melons are obviously used in Melon Festival. Every time it's a 0 to cooldown, but all it needs you do is have a watermelon on you to cast it.
Hmm.
It is 1500 heal and a 2 turn cut to debuff durations. Fire gets 2 of these.
Does she autocast this on anything?
And go down to Vid Force.
She does. So on a special attack, she will melon festival if she has a melon. So she will both um, blind, nuke, and heal and
Well,
debuff reduce on
well,
an enemy
the nuke
special.
is not reactive. You just get it back
Oh, it ends
next
cooldown.
turn.
Okay, so you press the button.
Yes.
You get it guaranteed, but it's not reactive that turn. It is something that you get to do the next turn. So that's still two skills that she gets back, or at least she just does on enemy special.
Yeah, it's super good. But we actually need to go back to Watermelon Smash
Hmm.
because we didn't tell you what the buffs you get from chain bursting.
Okay, hit me.
So in a 2 chain, you get 10% meter
Hmm.
and 20% wind damage lowered.
And those are for 3 turns after the CA.
Yes.
So they're active that turn and then for 3 more turns.
On a 3 chain, you get 80% chance for 30% crit.
That's fine.
Nice.
Okay.
Fourth one, you remove a debuff.
You get clarity. So wait, so this is one of the like the most defensive versions of this because the Kengo one is very offensively oriented except for defense up. So you don't get CA
Yeah,
specs up or anything like that. Okay, so this supplements Kengo rather than replicating it.
which is a good thing because you're gonna run this character with Kengo.
You're
Let's be honest.
100% running her with Kengos.
Yeah, she's a heal spec in this version. So,
Oh, I just looked at that. Yeah.
and then the last one is a thousand refresh for 3 turns for 5 chains or more.
Is it for? So it heals you that turn, and then it heals you for 3 more turns, right? Or is it only?
Yes,
Yeah. So it heals you for 4,000 base. It's pretty good if you 5 chain.
and you can easily 5 chain with this character and Kengo MC and
Oh yeah, she doesn't need. So she has the 200% max, but she doesn't need all 200 to CA, unlike Colossus. Got it.
correct.
All right, we've got 2 things to go.
All
So
right, let's go skill 3.
all right,
That one's a fun one.
so she gives herself dodge and counter
Yep, 3 turns.
on a how long cooldown? 8 turn cooldown. Okay.
But the more important thing is the Phoenix Cicada stance buff she gets.
Okay.
All right, so what she gets is 100% TA,
Okay, yeah, all right.
100% crit for 30% damage,
That's pretty good.
40% dodge.
Which is important because she doesn't want to take damage while in the stance. It's the, it's a very dark principle where like, uh, Vikala, um, and Tabina all have versions of this thing, and I think Fediel also. I forget
Fediel is
how
you don't
Fediel's
want to be hit
works.
twice,
Yeah,
but that one also gives you a 10,000 shield. So,
right.
oh yeah, and on top of this, symbol damage 5,000, 5,050k.
Mm-hmm.
You know her skill one that's always casting.
Right.
And you know what? Let's just give uplift.
Sure, why not? Just permanent uplift on the character. It'll be
Yeah, no,
fine. This is fine.
she has two charge bar EMPs, by the way.
Charge bar up at max gives 20%, right? Per
For two of
EMP.
them. No,
So
it's
that's
10% for each.
it's 10% for each, so it's 20% total. So with her own buffs, she gets 12% a turn.
Plus, you know, chain bursting with both Kengo and herself because they're separate.
Yeah, like between the Kaneshige and then Kengo, yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of meter that you're getting. You're just sucking it from a straw. Like you have stuck a straw into the watermelon and are just drinking it.
Yeah, they've already solved the CA looping for fire now.
Hmm.
It's really good.
All right, and then finally we still haven't even gotten to her support skill number one.
Oh, support skill. She's also her best friend.
She's also Shion.
All right, so but let me check on Shion what she got for
Yeah,
this.
I'll read out what swimsuit made with love gives her. So the first katana, which is your Kaneshige, she gets 30% attack, and it's on perpetuity, isn't it? Let's take a look. Yep, it's on
Yes,
perpetuity.
guess what? That's Shion's first quick katana.
All right, for the second katana, which is if you are primal, then it's Nixaba. If you're not, then there's still lots of katanas. It's probably a Ray of Juque instead. She gets
There's three of
50%
those.
defense.
Yep, same. That's the same as Shion. There's actually one difference. Keep going.
Okay, for
Actually,
the
two
third
differences.
one, which is usually like a Xeno katana, she gets 20% passive charge bar gain, which means that the uplift is now 14 a turn instead of 10.
Yep, that's the same as Shion.
The fourth katana, if you are Magna, you start running into a little issue here. Like you're probably using like a second Xeno katana or something. If you're primal, you just have all of these katanas. It's 10% boost to her damage cap.
All right, so for Shion, her fourth katana was 50% CA damage, 3% CA cap.
Okay, and then the fifth katana, which is probably Ultima katana, is 30% healing and 20% healing cap.
And Shion's was 20% boosted damage cap. Yeah, these remember Shion's an attack character, in spec, and she is heal. So she's gonna be healing pretty well when the enemy CAs.
So yeah, with just her own um, passive, then it's 1800. Then she has a healing EMP on her as well,
So
so
that's another
that goes up to
20%.
2100, I think.
And then you might have a heal katana for Ultima.
Hmm. So this is a very good set of skills. And now we can talk about her umbrella katana.
Oh, the umbrella katana is amazing.
It has healing on it and majesty.
Yeah, it has, and it can go to the skill level 15 already.
Yeah, this thing is a hard mode katana, and it
Oh, you
has
know what?
like
It has Wrath too. Why not?
it
Because
has
it just adds
incidental
something.
wrath on it. Yeah, to just give you
Yeah.
a little extra attack, a little extra HP, a little bit of multi attack.
I mean, she doesn't need the multi attack part.
Hmm. Really amazing all around, in my
If it
opinion,
wasn't
at
for the
least.
fact that Unsigned Kaneshige is so good, that I would use this as a main hand.
Hmm. What's the CA effect on it? Like, I actually don't look at katana main hands anymore because of that. Let's see.
It's 1,000 shield and 10 meter.
Ah, 10 10 meter. You are like little baby. Yeah.
Yeah, literally, like I said, if Unscience Akane Shige didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next, her best friend Shion, who is now defense in wind. Um. All right.
So she took a lot. She took a lot of aspects from actually Christmas Mirroring.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that by being defense instead, she's better.
All right. Take us on a walk through because once again she has a lot of text in 2 support skills and then like oh, some V2 friendly supports that's like make her loop her skills differently. So where do we start?
That's actually a very good question. Let's start with Fuji Slash.
All right. So this is the one that activates when an enemy uses a special attack.
Correct, according to her second passive.
So it is a stackable minus attack.
40%.
It's a reactive dispel, which
And
previously you had on Astariola, but is still very nice to always have around.
well, technically, Stariola is not reactive. It just
It
he
just
passes out every turn.
it literally happens every turn. You're right. You're right. Um.
But this thing double casts when her charge bar is 50% or higher.
Mhm.
And she's a samurai, so she has 200 meter.
Mhm. And if she manages to dodge, she also gets extra meter, but that's going to be after
That doesn't
Fuji
matter
Slash,
half
I
the
think.
time.
I have to
That
look
doesn't
at the
matter half
order
the
of
time.
operations. Anyway,
You you have to count. It's not dodging. You have to counter.
all right. So next up, that's well, you're between Waterborne Bato Jutsu and Fuji Slash, and then
Yeah. So the thing is, this is better. The skill one nuke is way better than Winter
Mirrors.
Mirrors because all hers does is Sackable Water attack down, and you spend all your Mekons to do more hits,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's on a 6 turn cooldown, and you get sad.
Yeah, so Fuji Slash I assume goes down to a 6 turn cooldown, and then every
It
time that
does.
she counters, it goes down another turn because of her Waterborne Bato Jutsu.
But the only way she can self counter actually though is
Mm-hmm.
actually on CA.
Bonus damage. Let's see. So dodge and counter effect for 2 hits. Does it last 3 turns, or does it last until
You
it uses?
wish it lasted 3 turns. It's the same as Mirrors.
Oh, it's only that turn.
It's the turn after, up to the turn after.
Okay. So the turn that she CAs followed by the turn that she I see.
One nice thing though is that what's it called? It gets more hits. With more katana. Excuse me, can't speak. Katana allies.
Characters. Mm-hmm. Up to
You
6
know,
hits. It's
you
a
could get
hundred.
a pretty good team of wind katanas.
Yeah, we were looking at that. It's like so you leave out say like some of the usual suspects, but you still have like so Alea's new, but she's excellent. You
Uisis
have
is good now.
you have Uisis. You have these 2 characters who are extremely good, Narmea and Azusa.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of like Narmea, Azusa, Shion like demo videos out there.
You know,
I
SR Mirren's still not bad,
mm-hmm,
ironically.
right. And so it's pretty easy to stack 6 Katana spec allies into your team. And let's see, it's 100k each hit. Well, sorry, 130k each hit. But hey, there's this Katana in Wind that's really popular and really strong that provides up to 100k supplemental skill damage. So
Yeah. Yeah,
you
that's
know
pretty good, huh?
that's an extra million for having 2 of them in the standard grid and then just doing this. Actually, it's 1.2 million because it's 6 hits. So yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
she doesn't require Mirren being at 200 meter in order to do this.
all right. So this is the one that I haven't actually seen how well it works. So this is a Reinhardt Czar thing, where on a 13 turn cooldown, 12 turn cooldown,
Correct.
she can have up to an 8 turn buff that is debuff resistance, 20% armored, and by the way, it's 100% debuff resistance,
Yeah, which is
and
way
uh,
good.
and drain. So at 100 a turn. Sorry, 1,000 a turn. Um, I'm gonna go look at what Reinhardt's Zara's is like, so, because it's been a while since I pressed that button. Well, at let's see here. Boost to specs based on number of mate. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think this one move is actually that like self-important.
yeah. So it was the debuff duration is what Reinhardt Zars does based on fist allies.
Yeah, like you get that to 8 turns, plus you have Frau, plus yeah.
hmm
Anyways,
So anyway, um, so yeah, this thing like 100% debuff resist for 8 out of 12. That's really good.
but it's not like game breaking at all,
hmm
which is a good thing. You want to break everything,
Yeah,
but
I
it's
mean,
nice.
Wind
It's just
already
I
had
feel like it's just a nice thing.
yeah, Wind already had Summer Core. What to just press a button and say you're now debuff immune for more than 8 turns.
Yeah, you're debuff immune for forever
hmm
until
For
you die.
until you die and are brought back. But anyway, this is this is pretty good, pretty darn good. And then the last piece of this here, one mind. So it's 4 hits of wind damage.
Yeah,
Um,
the nuke.
which is about 150k each once again. Um, and then one mind is ready to parry the attacks of all foes and counter with one mind reversal. So this lasts 1 turn, and she gets dodge all, full hostility. It's not all sub; it's just full hostility. So
Yeah,
she
that's the
will.
difference between her and Miriam right there.
Mhm. And when it like when she does that dodge, then it also does the wind damage, and then it puts on accuracy lowered for 3 turns.
Not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, this character looks super fun. I
Reactive D spells are always great.
mhm.
We can tell that to Elmont, right?
Oh, Elmot's so fun.
Elmont's amazing.
Notably, her weapon, while it doesn't have a 4-star yet, is a dagger with a delay effect on CA. So
That's always pretty good, yeah.
you keep those in mind. It's also Garrison and Aegis, so
That's
those are
alright.
also things that you keep in mind for later. So you just file this one away and say, all right, we'll figure that one out.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention another part of her skill one, other than being the standard. You're a samurai, you get 200 meter. Is that if she didn't take damage, she gets 20% bar.
Yeah, I vaguely mentioned that, but like when she does one mine, she is guaranteed to gain another 20 meter on that turn. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. All right.
I need for the summer rolls to come by. Just saying.
My personal guess is that we'll start on July 30th or 31st this year, because that was also when we got them in 2020. 2021 was a little freakish. I'm thinking they're going to go back down to normal and go for, you know, about 3 weeks of August instead to cover summer vacation. But we'll see. That'll happen when it happens. Um, all right. So next up, I would like to point our attention to the 2 final Ennead fights. And in fact, because of where we just were, let's talk about Raw first.
Ah, the great beast of the sky. Here, please hear my cry.
Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh reference?
Yes.
Okay. But here's the thing about Raw. So there are 2 um, new Ennead weapons for each one. The Raw ones are the most easy to figure out what their purpose is. So if we start with Manjet, which is first of all, it is a wind axe. We have complained previously about wind axes being Ultima Axe or very sad face.
We literally complained about that last week.
Yeah. And so, hey look, it is not only a wind axe, but its charge attack is One, it delays on CA. If that's at 4-star, it goes from chance to delay effect.
Yeah.
Um, it has persistence, which is supplemental damage based on high HP. Let me go look up Evanescence and try and remember if it's based on. Nope, it's just plain. It supplements crit. Okay, so this is supplement based on high HP. That's a good one. And then progression. So
I mean, they literally just went back to Obvious.
yeah, and that's a good weapon. This is a good weapon, and
This is
every
the Axe-Made hand.
every Viking just cheered. Like every Viking who didn't want to make wind Ultima Axe, I mean, or wield the saddest of SSR axes, or even just SR axes or something, the Tiamat axe.
But no, this is good. This one's a good one.
This one's a very good one. Next up, we have the Abu Simbel. This one is a little more. It's a lot more niche. So
I mean, it has Fortitude, which is supplementing your damage based on how low your HP is, and then it has preemptive Gale Blade.
yeah. So this is essentially like the use case that I've seen for this is that specifically there is a popular Darkwind team that involves bringing Narmea to 1 hit point and taking exactly like 3 turns or so. And the thing about Darkwind is that number 1, the preemptive Gale Blade, you use all of that for that one because you're not taking that many turns. Number 2, you get because Narmea does so much freaking damage, what you're trying to do is just add to her cap and her supplement. So this actually, and given that she's at 1 hit point, this Fortitude will be at max effectiveness.
Yeah.
So for specifically that team, this is an amazing main hand because a lot of the time you're Luchador.
I just still really hate Gale Blade because the fact that you want to stack 2 of these weapons, but you actually can't
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get max effectiveness of that.
Yeah.
Second skill.
But yeah, Nalu also mentioned that the Destiny Knuckles with their bloodshed also just plain start you at start the fight at 60% HP, where this also still very good. Like even if you're not using the Darkwind version where you Zoe yourself down to 1 hit point, this is still very good. It's niche, sure, but they shouldn't all be like bring it all the time. So that's raw.
Yeah,
As
unfortunately, let's see here.
mm-hmm.
Nope, never mind. I'm shutting up now. Let's move on.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the weapons and then we're gonna talk about the fights. So next up, we have the Water Staff from Tefnut, which is the Esna. So as a main hand, it mirror images you
That's
and your allies.
fine.
That's fine. The extra effect is a shield. You're not going to be using this as a main hand. There's way better defensive staff main hands.
I mean, if you don't have Drang, I guess this is an option. But
even the Xenococutus staff is better, honestly. It heals and it clarities you and stuff. Like it double clarities, I think, even. But anyway, what you're really doing with this thing is number 1, Fortitude.
that's always a fun one.
And Enmity. So this is more support for Water Enmity.
We finally have more weapons that are free to play Enmity.
Yeah, because right now, a lot of the Enmity, if you're looking for it, like there's a grand weapon with Enmity on it with Atlantis. There is the Vayne's Blossom Axe is the water bloodshed weapon, and it's fine. It's good. It does exactly what you want it to do. But honestly, starting yourself at 60%, like a lot of the time, if you're playing Water Enmity, you just have Kolulu and she punches herself in the face to go into the red health.
Yep, because she immediately casts 80% for current health.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
And then if you're being really silly, you can just copy her health to everybody else with Maria Teresa, and then you're just like, come at me.
Yeah, so that works really well in those cases. And there's a lot of cases nowadays where I'm being hit no matter what's happening. I'm gonna be at mid health at best.
Hmm. Um, but Maria. The thing is that I would rather not use Maria Theresa in a Fortitude build anymore, because it's like, all right, who benefits the most from something like Fortitude? Well, Kolulu gets herself there and then benefits from it because her spear nuke does a lot of hits.
Yep.
But now there's these new characters that Water has that support supplemental playstyle like a lot. So
I love supplemental damage.
yeah, I mean you're a Cupiton player now, right?
Yeah.
There's Cupiton, there's Lancelot if you have him. There's Valentine's Cassius, who's also like a high privileged character. Um, like you want these characters to just be pressing for. See, Cupiton's 7 hits. Cassius is I can't remember how many hits. It's a lot.
So another thing is that this should like be on the same supplemental damage as the crits one.
Hmm.
And the thing is that when you're doing like the multi-hit like skill damage comps,
Hmm.
you're already hitting the cap without crit.
Right.
So, sometimes this is also a nice alternative.
Hmm. Yeah, and chat mentions it's just like Poseidon just playing at low health and just swinging. Um, there's like there's a lot of uses for this, which is it like it's a free to play Creepy Claw, and Creepy Claw is an amazing weapon.
True.
All right, and then um, what was it? Was an axe. The last thing that drops from Tefnut is Uraeus. So on CA it gives minus DATA. Okay.
20%.
I mean, it's one of those things where we talk about how good it is, but I don't know if it's worth using your axe main hand slot on.
If anything, most I would use the sword main hand or the spear main hand stuff rather than this.
Hmm. It's listed as 20% down each, but it's like there's a lot of characters in Water who give those debuffs, and so I
And
don't know
are
if
bigger.
yeah. Um, and then the CA effect at 4-star, the additional thing is you get a nuke, and it's like okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
And
A
then
600k nuke.
and then
Woo.
we get exertion, and you're just like
Why?
okay.
Poseidon really had a hard time triple tagging Dom.
At full health, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but then it's like, all right, it's an arts weapon. Well, there's use in it in being an arts weapon, except
The,
that,
the problem is that we have a free arts weapon already.
and someday when Water Proving Grounds comes back in, it'll have like 30-some% attack along with having arts.
Yeah. So, like, this
And
one can get to 25%
also
normal attack.
here's the other thing, like we're at 45 minutes in, so it depends on how much you want to go into this, DJ. But literally the minute this was put into the game, Rainbow
We can
Liar.
we can talk about that. We can talk about this now.
Okay, Rainbow Liar got a 4-star, and it's an arts weapon now, and it
As
has
crits.
Verity and Might, and yeah, skill damage cap up. So even if you're not willing to wait for Proving Grounds, it's just like, all right,
Yeah, I
bud.
don't know what they went with this weapon, really. I really don't.
They can't all be winners, but this one's kind of woo, woo.
This was not is by no means anywhere close to being a winner.
The joke is it's like all right, Water's definitely paying a Schrodinger tax for a couple months.
Schrodinger's so good. You could use it. You could use it in actually non-water grids, man.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, um, do you want to go into the weapons or you want to go into the fights real quick?
Well, we said we're gonna talk about the fights. Let's talk about the fights.
All right. So the thing is that it's kind of funny that Tefnut's weapons are on the low end of like Ennead usability, right? Because like Atum gives you the CA supplement. Um, Benu's weapons give you just like general supplement because the bow for Benu is amazing. Raw, we talked about like any kind of supplemental. Horus's weapons, Horus's bow is also the supplemental style. Osiris gives you CA supplement at low health instead of high health. Like all of these have very clear things, right?
The thing is with Tefnut, for example,
Hmm.
Tefnut's the water fight, right?
Yeah, toughness the water fight.
Thing is, so water already got its supplemental CA damage in twice.
Hmm.
Well, once with Lumio Malice, and then the other one with Diaspora.
Hmm.
And then it already had its generic what's it called? Generic
Supplemental.
supplemental damage.
Hmm.
So I didn't expect anything going with water.
I mean that's fair, but it is pretty funny to me that it's like the easy. It is since Tefnut and Ra were released at the same time. Tefnut is one of the easiest.
That was so easy, dude.
Like this is the thing is that even when you factor in the fact that Earth just does easy, it's because of Ayada being available for everybody. It's one of the easiest like keep CAing elements in the game. Putting that aside, Tefnut just doesn't damage you. Like she doesn't actually try to kill you.
She does like 1,000 damage, and I'm like, that's a baby scratch.
Yeah, and like her omens, if you, there's actually a relatively difficult omen for some styles of Earth, which is land 5 debuffs. If you're not playing, say, Tigers or Madara or something like that, then okay. But what does it do? It gives her uplift for the rest of the fight.
That
It's a
makes it easier for me to break her omens.
yeah, it's an Ennead V2 fight, and you're just like, yes, I get to divide 5 faster. Bring it, lady.
Because the stupid thing about India fights is that a lot of the trigger like omens are do CA damage or do damage. Period.
Mhm. And it's just like, oh, twist my arm. You want me to do CA damage in Earth against a fight that amplifies damage, so to the point where like
I'm like
my
doing 12 million. See, every one of my characters' attacks are taking at least 3% off.
it's so big, and you're just like, oh, oh, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that fight's a joke.
like
Even the what, big scary one that's at when it has 5 dots and says, "Oh, you have to do 99 hits, or I'll CA," and it's like, I live.
yeah, that's the thing. I lived through that, and then because I was playing my Wamdis team, which has World Ender main hand, then my characters countered her to death, and I was just like, that's it. Like, um, our previous like precedent for deal 99 hits or you're done is Fediel, and she actually kills you if
You
you
mean
don't do
Luo?
the like she actually kills at least one character when you don't do the 99 hit.
Luo's is he ends your entire party.
Yeah, Luo's just ends the fight. Like there's no possible coming back. And so I was actually kind of scared. It's like, "Oh no. What happens now?" Oh,
Nothing happens.
nothing happened. And so it's just like, "Alrighty." And then, like I said, the same minute Raw comes out, and Raw is on Bennu tier of difficult. Like Bennu is I call him the swole murder bird, and Raw is like the cheerful murderer. Like this enemy has some of the most fun animations if you actually turn on sound. She's like spinning her like hula hoop things. She's like making funny noises. Like this character is a lot of fun.
No,
And
we
she
compare her with
murders the
Carmelina.
shit out of you. She doesn't murder you quite as hard as Bennu though. Like you can
I mean,
actually
Beto literally puts a buff on himself that says, "You can't hit me, and I'm going to kill you."
yeah, like Bennu will kill you through guard. Ra will not kill you through guard. Ra is annoying, but not nearly as lethal as Bennu. So I'm putting if Bennu's up here in terms of like full auto difficulty, Ra is below him because if you're having trouble with Raw Impossible, then you just turn on full auto guard, and then she stops killing you. Like she does damage, sure, but like I don't know. It's funny to me that Tefnut and Raw came out on the same day, and they're just night and day when it comes to difficulty span. Where it's like Raw's up here, but Tefnut's not even on screen; she's down there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, also don't forget in the fight itself, if you cast the red button, she gets 2 buffs.
Hmm. And fire, by the way, is like the premier presser of red buttons in all of its characters.
That's literally like how we get most of our damage.
And a lot of dispels, because it's like, alright, Summer Medusa, her dispel is on a red button.
Fortunately enough, she auto casts it if she has 5 stacks and doesn't take damage.
Right. Elmot, his
He's
dispel is a red
reactive.
button.
He's
Right.
reactive. You can't react to her giving you giving her a buff.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, like the monk dispel is a red button. Um, it's like you're falling behind
But
a
yeah,
lot.
watch me heal with Summertina, who
You know,
heals on a red button. Frow's double cast
yeah,
double
and
cast stuff is
and
a
the
red
order
button.
of operations on Frau Dispel is that she will dispel 2 buffs, and then 2 of them come right back. Oh,
Oh man, I hate this fight sometimes.
like I see where they were going with it, but also it's just funny to me where people hate Raw. Like they hate this fight because a lot of what they wanted to do before, she just murders you if you try to do it.
She'll put salt metal on her stuff on CA. She'll put chaser on her by you hitting buttons.
She, if you
She'll
fail one of
triple
her
tag.
omens, she gives herself the Wind Boss Classic of Mirror Image, and so if you're on full auto and you don't own Summer Medusa, who is still a privileged character, let's not like she came out when we were still getting some free rolls. Actually, or did she? No, I don't think
No,
she.
it was
She was after the free
oh,
rolls were over.
nope. Yep, that's right.
That's right. So not very many people have Summer Medusa. So like unless you are running Elmot, then the next turn after you are either taking over or you're doing 0 damage, which usually fails another set of omens. By the way,
I know she was running. She might have been there during free rolls.
okay,
Her release date was 3/19.
okay, so we did get free rolls for Medusa, so you had to have gotten lucky, but you didn't have to have committed resources necessarily to get Summer Medusa. Got it, got it, got it. Um,
But
but yeah,
still,
it's still funny to me. Like I said, the people in our crew who are figuring out how to full auto raw reliably just when
I'm just doing FA guard,
I
dude.
guess I have to guard again. At least FA guard works for her. It does not work for Bennu. Bennu will beat the crap out of you
And you
through
beats
FA
you
guard.
up.
He will actually kill you. Whew.
I wish there was a way in full auto that you could set your chain, your fatal chain to only go off during those turns that the boss is about to do a CA.
Mhm.
That way you could use Seofon's thing reliably.
Mhm. But oh man. Like Raw has the good weapons and she's much harder than Tough Nut, and I just find
But as a
that fact
result of
funny.
that, though, is
Mhm.
that her raids are open.
True.
So there's a nice thing about that.
Mhm. We just repelled the mist, eradicator of the blistering light. All right. So the final thing, let's go through some 12 weapon uncaps real fast, shall we? We mentioned
Yeah, let's
that.
do it.
All right.
What order are you going in?
Element order. So step 1, Sparkle Beat Volume 29. New skill, Blade Shield. So you
That's a
get,
very new skill.
what was that?
That's a very new skill. I haven't
Yeah.
seen that one before.
So it's HP and crit.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Um, the CA on it, previously it gave, I think it's MC only Veil,
Yeah, it's still MC only.
and now it clears a debuff.
On
Okay.
MC only.
Eh,
You're not using this as a main
you're
hand.
not using this as a main hand. Alright, we're moving on. La Sylphide.
Oh, Blade Shield's apparently on
Initiation.
Lexiel's weapon.
Mm-hmm. What was that? Blade
Instead of
Shield's
Lexiel's apparently on Lexiel's weapon.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sylphide. Initiation. Supplement CA damage based on how low your HP is.
Yeah, I'll take those. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the condition on a tomb CA supplement? for the Atum staff?
There's none. It's
There's
just
none.
straight
It's just
400
straight up
k.
CA. Okay.
This one goes up to 600k.
Okay. Supplement CA damage. The value is 400k. Okay.
And this thing has sentence. So yeah, this thing's pretty good.
Mhm.
You're not using this over certain main hands though.
Yeah, Karak and Draconic Harp are way too good.
And Draconic Harp is a free weapon.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on. So we mentioned the Rainbow Lyre earlier in this because it came out the same. The uncap came out the same minute as the Tefnut Arts weapon. And hey, look, Arts.
It's just a ghetto huli coolie.
Um, the new CA on it adds skill damage up and skill damage cap up. It's yeah, you're not using this over Dante. You're not using this over
Dante's so good.
yeah.
Just
Like you're
no
just
cap.
getting way more damage out of Dante's CA. The entire package on Dante is amazing. All right. So Sophia's weapon, the staff, Vertrauen.
Big heal, medium mastery, and then we get small garrison. Let's go.
Yeah, this thing is clearly good. Healing, Majesty, and Garrison.
This will come
Um,
again later.
what was that?
I said this will come again later.
Yeah. As a main hand, it's a small heal. It's 1500. That doesn't really outdo something like, say, the Xenococutus Spear. It also removes a debuff from all allies. I'm pretty sure the Xenococutus one removes two now.
Yeah, but the difference between that is that I'm not using Xenococutus Sphere. I mean, not Spear, but
Staff. Yeah, and so that's the thing. Is like it had this is a worse Xenococutus staff as a main hand,
it's
and
a
we're not
better
using
weapon.
that. So we're moving on. Selenos is really interesting. The Satyr Sword.
Oh man.
So I mean, it's the third major. Well, actually, no, it's an enmity weapon now. Um,
Oh,
it
it always had enemy.
oh, it goes to big now.
Yeah, it went from small to big.
It went from small to big. But this is now the third major garrison weapon because it was previously like the big ones were metal and
Faceless.
what was that?
Faceless.
Yeah, metal bandages and then faceless came in. Um, this one is enmity and garrison. Okay,
Like, you know what? It has a sick CA.
the new CA is awesome because it has the Satyr summon effect, which is permanent, unremovable, local attack down, defense down, stacking up to
Yeah, that's sick.
30%.
That's
That's
sick.
sick.
It's
Super
way
good.
better. It's way better than casting some bullets with TN.
Sigh. But on the other hand, it is a sword earth main hand, so it's fighting against a lot of really good things. So you do have to keep that in mind. I
Yeah, I
think
do.
this is like a Viking defensive main hand, as opposed to like World Ender or um, like main handing some of the axes or things like that that you have in Earth. Like it's doing this to keep up, and it is the defensive sword option, so it's pretty good. All right, next up, Jackknife,
Hey, look, I actually predicted this one.
where it just gets might.
Yeah,
Before it was bloodshed, enmity. So yeah, look, we had a an alert on this thing because like it's Earth bloodshed weapon. Its new CA kind of sucks, so you're not main handing this.
I mean, yeah.
Like if you're going to have a dagger main hand, you're probably using Arsene.
I mean, you get your MC and only the MC, despite the other thing giving TA to everybody. It's only to yourself for 20 meter.
Yeah, and then even if you're not using Arsene, there is a better free main hand weapon, which is the other Bennu weapon that we didn't even mention because it's actually good. The
That weapon's
Tachinin,
super sick.
yeah, because it's supplement based on low HP. It's actually free multi attack based on low HP, and then the CA on it is the 35% DA TA up and 10% chaser on
Which is
the
way better than
Bennu
this.
dagger. So like this is bloodshed, might, and what's the other one again? For the jackknife, it is
Bloodshed, Enmity,
Enmity.
Might.
That's right. I mean,
Well,
so
you know what?
yeah,
It's a good in grid weapon.
yep. And you know what? You're allowed to have two of something now if you want. If you're an Earth player who has Galleon, you're not gonna
Yeah,
have three of
don't invest
these.
in three. Don't invest
Yeah,
in three.
this doesn't go to three, but I mean, you can have like the three landslide scepter, two jackknife, and some enmity stuff, and you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, you just call it a day there.
Yeah. All right. I mean, let's ignore the characters who hit themselves into the red without having bloodshed. This enables other characters. All right. Ghoul
Yeah,
Bursty.
there's apparently 3 characters that's not MC on the team.
Yeah. Ghoul Bursty. It was stamina and might before. The might changes to Solaire now.
Yeah, I mean, Wind does need like Primal Wind does need like better sources of crits.
Crit. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's still one of them, but
The upgraded CA on this thing, so it is a Wind Axe. The upgraded CA on this thing is 35% DA, 35% TA for 3 turns after UCA.
that's one more turn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's totally fine? Question mark. You're not gonna main hand this, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
if you're a berserker, you're using a sword. Because, let's see. Let me look up what Evanescence does on CA again. It always messes with me that this is a freaking sword. It's everybody gains 15 meter and 20% chaser. Yeah. If you're a Viking, you're not main handing this. If you're a lumberjack, you have all sorts of other offensive options that are better.
we also have harps.
Yeah. Like, all right, we're gonna move on from Ghoul Bursty. Bonjour.
This is the one that got Excelsior this time around.
Yeah, this one won the Excelsior Award. And the new CA on it. So Wind Dagger actually is kind of sad because it's like it's a grand only, right? For its reunion.
For the US weapon.
Yeah. So this one is everybody gains 10 meter on the new CA, which is kind of neat because it has Excelsior and Arts and Mystery.
And it's set to Randall, who CA's like a champ.
CA is like a champ and does a lot of skill damage on his CA. And can
Yeah.
benefit from charge meter up. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much I can say about this other than that.
Yeah. All right. So Indigo Flame Stinger. This one's really unfortunate. I was thinking about this like, oh man, this is kind of a cool weapon now.
It's cool for a turn.
So all right, Indigo Flame Stinger is a dagger. It is as a dagger. It gives plus 10 meter to your entire team on CA, and now we'll give them CA damage up and CA cap up for that turn only.
Yep.
And then it's Mystery, Preemptive Light Blade, so it's a 1-turn weapon, basically like a short fight weapon, and now it gains Quenching, which is supplement CA damage based on high HP.
So the problem with this is that we already have quenching light weapons.
And it is free and it is better because the Bale hat from Sandbox has Harp Voltage 2. And if you are playing light and you have harps, that means you're playing light. Because it's not even just like the privilege stuff, which is the Harmonias and the Radiant Rene. Your seraphic weapon is a harp. And you're also just not embarrassed at packing some Magna harps because of how good Harp Voltage 2 is on the
And also
Militis
Magna harps also have some EX skills on there.
Yeah. And so poor Indigo Flame Stinger, they gave it Quenching when like the free one is way better.
Yeah, well, this weapon was not doing much before that in the first place. It had preemptive light blade, which you already know my opinion on preemptive.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it had Xeon's Mystery, which is like Oh boy, big boost of CA damage. Too bad this thing caps at 120,
And
and you already have a weapon to do that in light, and
yeah, like it also is that part of it is also just going up against the freaking Horus katana, which is way better.
it also goes up against a Huang Long Spear.
hmm So meanwhile, it's a dagger that uncapped on the same day as another light dagger, which is way better, but also in a different
Oh,
context.
this dagger's so good.
Like, did we have Lancet on the short list when we saw that it was announced? I think we did, because this is like healing in HP, and I had it on the Ophelia wait list, and
And
so
it's a good one. They
it get.
give it like Garrison.
Oh man, that's so good. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. What was
I
that?
checked with a harp, by the way,
hmm
and if I'm at like 25% health, I'm actually in 245% defense.
Yeah, Lancet is real good.
Yeah, and it's like 15% healing now because you're at big 15%,
hmm
and so that actually really goes to 40%.
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, the Lancet is a really good Doctor main hand. Who would have thought?
10% if I'm actually doing my math correctly. But yeah, super good.
Yeah, this thing's super good. All right, last two. So we have got ourselves the unparalleled chopsticks, which uh, is a dark spear. So dark spear means that it's going up against the Xeno, which is a really solid main hand. It gives you supplemental and uplift on CA. So this one, it is your MC, only MC gains 40% DA, 20% TA. These are for 2 turns after you CA, plus dodge and counter. And you get 10% damage amp for those 2 turns as well.
As a main hand, I'd still rather prefer the
Xeno?
Xeno
Yeah, I
because
agree.
it's for everybody.
I agree on this one. Um, so its skills are Solaire, which is attack and crit,
All right.
Clarity, which is dodge and counter, which I've always hated on weapons.
No, I actually advocate for at least one clarity weapon
That's
because
fair.
you never know when it'll actually proc, and when it does, you feel like a god.
If it's free, then sure. Like I admit that I still have the one um, what is it bow, Metatron bow in my light crit grids, and every once in a while my characters dodge and counter when they had no business doing so, and I go, oh yeah, it has clarity on it.
Another one of my favorites also is the Alexiel katana.
hmm Yeah, that's another one. I admit it. I admit it. But the new thing that's
More than one though. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing?
yeah, the new thing on this spear is um, medium garrison. It's garrison on a weapon that has 0 HP.
It's Garrison on a weapon that wants to hold forward,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one, so we'll just move on.
and sometimes you dodge and counter.
Yeah, because the comparative garrison weapon is the Majestus, and that has
That's a
HP
free
on it.
weapon.
It's free, and so I'm not gonna use this as a main hand. I'm not gonna use this as a grid weapon. Um,
Frees are too busy.
yeah, I mean, what else? We haven't even bothered talking about like the skeletal eclipse, which is another dark spear that actually makes it into grids. But that's a completely different case because it is tempering. So we're just gonna move on.
Yeah, that thing's broken.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So Predator Claw, the last one, Fortitude, supplement HP damage based on low HP. Cool.
yeah. So if you're already hitting cap, this is a great weapon.
Which happens a lot when you are a dark player and you're at low HP.
Yeah. So how about that?
But it gives small crit. Trium is a sort of shrug. Like I said, if you're playing with a Predator Claw on your grid, you're already capping, and you're just using this to supplement. Like you have this, you have like a Zweischädel to add Chaser to that third hit. Like you are squeezing out every last piece of slightly extra damage because the characters themselves have you capping already.
Yeah. But also like mentioned in chat, The other problem is that it's the same. It'll be on the same modifier as pain and suffering. If you don't have pain and suffering, great. This is great for you.
Mm-hmm. So I heard you like multi-attack and Chaser and Dark. Yeah, as a reminder, so the Predator Claw CA, like Dark has all sorts of melee weapons that have good um, effects, and one of them's free because it's the Astral weapon. Um, so this one is Chaser that goes away when you take damage, but only on your MC, and then Mirror Image also only on your MC. Eh. This is a grid weapon, and this is a grid weapon for when you're optimizing for Fortitude when you don't already have pains and sufferings.
Yep.
So that's the 12 weapons. I think that we covered all of it then. We managed to cover everything.
Man, I love Lancet. I'm so glad I pulled 4.
This thing is so good. It's crazy.
What's healing cap? Healing cap's at like 100%, right?
The plus healing cap, I believe, is 100%.
Yeah, this thing gets you a 40.
That's a lot. But yeah, I am personally looking forward the most to probably seeing how many Celanoses I can get as a defensive main hand. Like, Lancet, I don't have the Zeus to support it yet, but I'm sure it'll do a lot of work for me someday. And then, yeah, at some point, I just rolled Jackknife recently during free rolls, and yeah, it'll get there someday.
Yeah, Bloodsheds.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Vertralen. Vertralen's gonna be a fun one too. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. This time next week, we will know what the next story event is. Dread Barrage will be done. Like, I don't know. There's nothing really much to say about Dread Barrage. It's a pretty steady, small thing. Like, they did small quality of life upgrades to it this time. That's about it.
Yeah.
They let you have more tokens. Like, I am joining more, like, whatever we call the bosses than ever before. But that's a nice quality of life thing rather than a big change to the event itself.
Yeah, I was also very glad that we were in the calm before the storm the following week.
Yeah, because that's
we're
Evo,
not
and
because we're being Vegas.
yeah, we're gonna be in Vegas. I don't think we will do an episode on the normal Thursday time while we're in Vegas. We'll probably do it like while we're chilling in the hotel room after GB versus finals. Because after we do next week's episode, there's GB versus Psy Games Cup, and that's where they tend to do announcements. And if not, they'll do an announcement at Evo. So
Or they'll do announcements at during the stream.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming. So we'll see what happens. As for who are my predictions for summer characters, I have no predictions. I I keep my mind clear so that I can be happy when we get what we get.
Summer Percival.
What was that?
Summer Percival. They'll do it again and not make him fire.
They've already made him light, so they'll make him water this time to join.
No,
the
I'm
other
talking about the
Aglavale?
fact that they made 2 fire Percivals.
Yeah, they have 2 fire Percivals and a light Percival. The light Percival is there to talk to Aglavale. Well, now it is.
You can make how do you make a water Percival? Talking with Water Brother.
What it is they're playing chicken on the beach. So it's Percival on the bottom, Aglavale on his shoulders on top, pointing the way. It's his big brother privilege. That's what
sense.
that's my prediction. I'm sticking to it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not staking anything on this.
I'll be amazed if you're right. Let's be honest.
It would be like the shitposts of shitposts for them to do that. Because I think that what I described is like in the background of one of the summer arts somewhere, because it's like Lancelot and Vayne doing it.
I mean, that makes sense with Lancelot and Vayne. They're pretty married at this point.
But they're also goofballs, as opposed to Percival and Aglavale, who I don't think would do that.
No, I don't. I don't think this will happen. Remember, Percy can't look down.
Oh, that's right. He always has to have an upward tilt to his chin. And I also was wrong. That is not in the art of any Percival. I wonder if it's in one. I don't know why I was thinking about that then. I don't know, man. It's just dumb things they would do.
Some things we're thinking of.
What if Summer is just two Fire Percivals in a trench coat? I like that one.
I mean, multiverse, yeah.
Percival on bottom. Those are fighting words in many circles. All right. With that note, we're done, everybody. Good night.
Good, everybody. We'll see you next
We'll
week.
see you next week. Thanks for joining us, everyone.